Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Jeff Culbert from Schooley's Mountain Chiropractic Center, and as you can see, it is Tuesday, but it's Tuesday morning, and I'm here doing paperwork, getting caught up before I go home, grab lunch, and get ready to come in and see patients this afternoon. But today, I wanted to tie in a story of a patient that I adjusted yesterday and our theme for Christmas. Obviously, you can tell that we are in full Christmas mode here at Schooley's Mountain Chiropractic Center. The video that we just put out that'll be posting in a little while is how to have a happy and a joyous Christmas and how to de-stress during the holiday seasons. And I wanted to tie today's video and talk in with a little bit with that one. As you can see, I'm sitting here with our tiny Christmas tree. We have Christmas music going on in the background, and I would like to just remind you that Schooley's Mountain Chiropractic Center, our primary goal here in the office is to get you well and keep you well with a lifetime of care and service. And the care and service that we can deliver goes from the day that you're born to the day literally that you die. And yesterday, tying in with the Christmas theme that we have here in the office, we celebrate Christmas because it is the birth of our Savior, and he was born in a manger. There was no room for him at the inn, and there was wise men that came with gifts, and we did the Christmas video, okay, with the stuff from the bishop's wife. But yesterday I had, and I do say this with all sincerity, the privilege of adjusting a little boy for the first time here in the office. Just like Jesus was born in the manger, this little boy was born 6 weeks ago. And his mom came by. She was a patient here while she was pregnant. She came by and stopped by for her adjustment on the way home from the hospital. I had the privilege at the time to adjust the baby as he was going home, and she asked when would be the next time I should bring him in. I said, well, you can do one of two things. You can bring him in for a well care visit, or you can bring him in if a problem should develop. Well, yesterday she had her appointment, and she brought her son with her. And she goes, can you take a look at my son? And I said, so what seems to be going on, or is this just a well check? And she said, he's developed some regurg, and he's kind of getting gassy and a little colicky. So it was my privilege to sit there and say, I'm going to get to adjust a baby today and hopefully make a difference in this young man's life. He came in screaming and yelling and crying, and when we gave him the adjustment, he left as happy as a lark. And when his dad came in last night about 6:30, he goes, I don't know what you did to my son, but he is still a happy and content little baby. My initial response was, great, look what I did. But I totally realized that, you know, it was by the grace of God that I found chiropractic, and it's by the grace of God that I get to do a great job in chiropractic and lay my hands on people. So with this little boy, when his mom got adjusted, and I know she was clear of all subluxations, I asked her to take her son out of the kangaroo seat, and we laid him down on the table, and then I asked her to hold his hand. And the reason why I do that is because, again, we do a technique in the office known as applied kinesiology. And with applied kinesiology in a little baby, I typically tend to use the parents as what are known as surrogate testers. And as a surrogate, I always prefer to have the mom be the one who's testing me with the baby. The reason why is because that baby was in the mom for 9 months. They were physically connected by the placenta. There was an exchange of tissues, nutrients going on between the mom and the baby. So I love to have mom being the next person that I'm going to be using as a surrogate to see what's going on with this child. From there, I would use dad, then any other siblings. Why in that order? Because again, it's a matter of connection and love. So if dad's available, I'll use dad if mom's not available. And if not, then I'll use a sibling that's been around who's old enough to understand how we do in muscle test. Again, because it's the love connection. And with the love connection, amazing things can happen. So when we were checking this little boy using mom as the surrogate, we found that there were a couple of subluxations up in the neck at the C4, C5 area. That gets to be technical, but it allows me to know that the nerve to the diaphragm may be being pinched, because there's a saying that the phrenic nerve, which is 3, 4, and 5, keeps the diaphragm alive. And if the diaphragm's not working, or the little sphincter in the diaphragm's not working, well then obviously stomach contents come regurg back up. And it can also, because of the diaphragm, create a sense of hiccuping all the time. And the little boy was having regurg and hiccuping happening every time that he ate. The other thing that was going on is the baby was, or the mom was relating that the baby is a little bit gassy and a little bit colicky and crying a lot. So again, we did some checking with the acupuncture system, and we found that the ileocecal valve was off, the Houston valve was off, and the T6 vertebra that goes to stomach and in upper intestines was also a little bit off. So now, gauged with some armamentarium of knowing what's going on with the baby, I could have an intelligent conversation with the mother. The first thing I asked her, I said, well, we've got this little diaphragm hiatal hernia stuff going on. My question to you is, Mom, you're breastfeeding the baby. She said yes. And I said, well, is there a possibility that you can live without caffeine? Because caffeine and other products that end in an INE, such as wine, nicotine, tangerine, clementine, citrus type of foods, can often be associated with irritation of the sphincter, which is going to allow for reflux or regurg to want to occur. She looked at me and with all sincerity said, there's no way I can live without caffeine because the baby's up and crying and screaming all this time. It's the thing that keeps me going during the day. So I relayed to her that if you're breastfeeding and this is part of what is causing the issue, well, I may be able to have some results with the baby. It would be far easier if we could eliminate the caffeine or anything that ended in an INE. So we ended that with Mom thinking about what's going on. So as I used the activator, small handheld adjusting tool, toned way down to only about 4 or 5 pounds of pressure, we adjusted very gently in the neck. We adjusted the area in the middle back that needed to be adjusted for the stomach area. And then we used some acupressure over the stomach and the hiatal hernia. We used it over the ileocecal valve and over the Houston valve. And before we were done, the baby had quieted down from crying and screaming and apparently stayed that way for the rest of the day. Now, I would love to think that one adjustment and this kid is done and he's never going to have a problem again with regurg or colic. I know that's not necessarily the case. One, because of Mom's diet, and two, it takes some time for things to heal. The other recommendations that we made, that this little boy get a little bit of moist heat over the lower abdomen so that, again, it helps things through with intestinal motility. And I also made the recommendation that along with Mom watching her diet, when she does breastfeed or bottle feeding with breast milk, is just to take a couple of drops of catnip and fennel, which you can get at any health food store, because the catnip and fennel will help break down the food that he's trying to digest and assimilate into his system, and the other one will help with the motility of it through. I also recommended that if she wanted to try and get some gripe water, which has fennel in it, that might also be helpful for her and her child. So right now it seems to be going really well. And now I get to say that, again, just as Christ was born in a manger, and he was given the gift of gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, here's a little boy now at Christmas time that has a couple of things that are going on with his body that are making life a little bit uncomfortable at the holiday time. So I got to lay my hands on him, adjust him, and things seem to be moving well. Christmas story. Baby in a manger, baby in a kangaroo, my gift of healing to the baby. Hopefully he's going to start a lifetime of care and wellness here in our office, and at least know that chiropractic is a viable aspect or part of his healthcare routine and regimen as he's going forward in his life. So that's my story of tying in what we got to do yesterday with the baby here in the office, the Christmas story, and hopefully if there's a mom or a dad out there that listens to this and their son or their daughter is dealing with regurg or a little bit of colic and they're close by and they're interested and they found this helpful, please visit our website at SMCC4U. Go ahead into the patient contact area and shoot us an email or shoot us a phone call. There's never a charge for a consultation, so you and Mom and the baby can always come in and discuss what might be going on and how we might be able to help. And if you found this information particularly helpful, if you could like it and share it with friends and family, but most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that the next time we post a video, you'll get alert and notified that if it is something of interest to you. Again, it's just our way of reaching out to the community and help spread chiropractic and alternative healthcare. Schooley's Mountain Chiropractic and Dr. Culbert here, wishing you the happiest and joyous and stress-free Christmases. Have a very happy and merry holidays, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.